Evidence Basics. This video will explain how you can use evidence to prove a case in court or defend your case if you're being sued. It's a lot less dramatic than on TV, and you have to follow a bunch of rules to get the court to even consider your evidence. What is evidence? Evidence can take a variety of forms. It's not just DNA samples and fingerprints, or physical evidence. The most common is testimony, people talking in court. There's also documents, photographs, recordings, official records, and more. Tip number 1, relevance. In order for information to be considered evidence, it needs to be relevant to the case. In legalese, this means that it has to be of consequence to the determination of the action, that it can be used to prove or disprove something relevant to the case. Kevin was convicted of assault last year. He's being evicted for non-payment of rent, and the landlord wants to introduce Kevin's conviction record. The conviction is not relevant to whether Kevin should be evicted. However, if Kevin were in a custody fight over his child, that conviction could be relevant. In defending the eviction, Kevin has a list of reasons why the landlord is terrible. She drinks. She can be rude. These are not relevant evidence. Tip number 2, hearsay. The evidence also has to be reliable. The judge has to hear directly from the person who actually has knowledge of the facts. The other side, or the judge, needs to be able to ask questions to the witnesses so that the judge or jury can determine if they are telling the truth. This rule is called the hearsay rule. You can't just submit witness statements or letters from witnesses. And generally, you can't testify to what you heard someone else say. For example, John is turned down for a rental unit and suspects it's because he's black. He calls his friends Chris and Annie and asks them to try to rent the place, and they get the offer. In John's Fair Housing Act case, he can't just say that Chris and Annie told them that the landlord made them an offer. They need to come into court to testify. There are a few exceptions that may allow your witnesses' information to come into evidence, even if they're not in court. Tip number 3, authentication. If you are using documents or records as evidence, you need to have them certified. If you get medical records from a hospital or financial documents from a bank, ask for a certified copy of the document for a court case. If you're using photos, someone needs to testify that the picture is an accurate depiction of what is in the picture and how they know. Evidence is a complex subject, but follow these tips and you're more likely to be able to prove your case in court. For more help, please contact Lakeshore Legal Aid or head to Michigan Legal Help.